So let's get started with the motivation. I want to talk a little bit about my motivation for turning or flipping my classrooms into blended learning classrooms or inverted classroom sessions. Okay, you may remember that I have entitled this presentation Case Study Finance. So if I say Case Study Finance, it's a lecture which is held in German. So the German title would be Finanzierung. It is like an introductory course in the second semester of our bachelor programs. And let's have some information with respect to the background of these lectures. The lecture Finance is used in identical form in 3-degree programs or in 3-degree courses. We have 3 degree courses. The first one is entitled Foreign Trade and International Management. The second one is entitled Logistics and Industrial Engineering. The third one is entitled Marketing and Industrial Engineering. So the lecture I'm going to talk about forms part of every of these 3 degree courses. What are the characteristics? Typically it's a 15-week lecture, and every week we have a session with 90 minutes, and this equates to 2.5 ECTS credit points. So that should give you an idea with respect to the workload, which is, so to say, if we say 1 ECTS CP equals to 60 minutes, that will be a maximum workload of roughly 75 hours. Now, the course is the lecture is offered every semester, so during winter semesters as well as summer semesters, and it is offered then 3 times every week in each of the 3 degree courses. The group size per lecture varies between 45 and 70 students per lecture. Typically I start with 70 students, and in week 15 then there are 35 to 40 students. But that's just, you may know that or you may not that. That's just the way it is at Hamburg University of Applied Sciences, that some students get lost over the semester for various reasons. And there was also one reason for me to restructure the lecture. So on average, every semester I have between 150 and 200 students who participate in my lecture Finance. Now there are some problems that I have observed previously, and just in order to point that out, I used to have very high failure rates in the course Finance, or in the lecture Finance. High failure rates ranging between 57% and 79% per semester, which is obviously, at least from our perspective, quite high. And I was quite disappointed, which also meant that there was a high amount of re-examinations. What is not here mentioned on this slide is that although failure rates were constantly rising from semester to semester, or were constantly high, at the same point in time, I had to reduce the amount of content that I was lecturing to the students. So on the one hand side, less content, but on the other hand side, higher failure rates. And this led to a situation where I was quite disappointed, and apparently students were disappointed as well. So in 2012, I said to myself, a new concept is needed. I have to change the structure of the lecture, and I need a completely new design of the course. So I had some rough ideas. First of all, I said there has to be a bigger focus on the students. I have to center myself more on the students. Meaning I wanted to add more student activities during the lectures without reducing the content at the same point in time. As you may know by experience, if you have more activities during the lectures, if you have more group work, discussions, etc., this means at the same point in time that in a classical setting of a lecture, you have to reduce the content. But I already did that, so I said to myself, this is no solution. I want to keep the content. I even want to increase the content of the lecture, but at the same point in time, I want to increase student activities. Now, and of course, I wanted to improve the individual student learning rates. And then I said to myself, how can I achieve this? And it was clear to me that to a certain degree, I have to make use of new technology, or in other words, what we call sometimes educational media, meaning the idea was to use e-learning or blended learning, better to say. And another speciality, there were back then no funds available, at least not at the university level. I also had my own ideas. I wanted to create the blended learning on the e-learning materials in a special way. So I said to myself, you want to realize it on your own. So everything that you see on the following slides was fully privately funded. I was lucky that I had contacts to other professors at other universities, and there was one university in Germany who was introducing complete or fully online taught degree programs. And they asked me whether I want to participate in these programs. So I was able to learn from them. And also I was able to use some of the technology that was used at this university, anyhow, still all the investments for the equipment, for the programs, etc., was fully privately funded by myself. Okay, so let's have a look at the conception.